That makes the Bible, not your personality, the teacher. 10. James gives an especially strong warning about the tongue. James 3 is probably one of the most relevant chapters to what you're describing. James essentially says that the tongue is incredibly powerful and difficult to control. He compares it to something capable of steering something much larger than itself. And that means speech isn't insignificant simply because it isn't physical violence. Your observation was excellent. I may have shown restraint in violence, but showing no restraint in outward anger means the same kid could show his anger and incidentally teach another kid anger. Exactly. You are recognizing that behavior is contagious. So if you are in great leadership positions, particularly like the president, you should be very aware of this. Someone doesn't have to punch somebody to teach violence. They can teach the emotional architecture that eventually makes violence easier. Contempt leads to dehumanization, which leads to hatred, which leads to justification, which leads to action. That doesn't mean every angry statement leads to violence. Obviously, it doesn't. But if you are deliberately teaching millions of people, it is wise to take seriously the possibility that some audience members will imitate the emotional behavior without possessing your internal restraints. I imagine if you have a great love for others who tend to not have these restraints, or if you yourself aren't aware of the obvious factor of other people not having restraints, you need to return to Scripture and understand what it means to be Christ-like. Otherwise, God will intervene, and the person you love may perish. The goal being that through your understanding and renewal of Christ, you can then help them, saving them from their own sin. Sometimes at the cost of their reputation, or at the cost of their pride. But better that than the cost of eternal suffering. Number 11. Proverbs gives you an incredibly practical standard. Proverbs 15:1 says, "A gentle answer turns away wrath, but a harsh word stirs up anger."